Wow. What an amazing conversation with Stephen. He's got so much to say. He's into his evidence. I don't need evidence. I don't care about the evidence, but that's just me. A lot of people do. I know, skulls, they need physical evidence to say, you know, to hear that what we're talking about. Palladians. What Palladians? What are you talking about? ETs? What? What's all this? Lemuria? Anyway, I don't know. What's that saying? For some, there's not enough evidence to convince them, and for those that know, you know, no evidence is needed. I'm one of those ones. No evidence is needed. The evidence I get is the confirmation I get from my mob, because with every conversation that I have with anyone on the show, I ask questions. Is that true? Tell me about that. Really? Is that really true? Or are they making that up? Like, I just ask my mob. The Ascended Masters, or the Federation of Light, or the Galactic Federation of Light. You know, there have been many names for what I call the mob. I call them blissful beings. They said, we don't really have a name. You can call us anything you like. They don't care. Label us any way you like. But they are the overseers who have been overseeing this planet since its inception, since the beginning. Not just this planet. There are many other planets involved in the evolution of this planet, which is the evolution of herself, Gaia herself, but also the consciousness that lives here, which is us and the animals and the trees and the mountains. So the ones that are lagging behind are us, the trees and the mountains, and the animals are ascending effortlessly and easily, or have ascended. They are kind of out in front compared to the majority of human consciousness. I'm not saying all human consciousness, but the majority, the dominant frequency that has been held by the collective, the human collective. But there are over, Mary Rodwell and I talked about this, there are over half the population of the planet that are souls who specifically came for this time of the shift, that have come to be a part of the shift. And some of them are waking up now. Some of them have been awake forever. Some of them, you know, a bit like Garnet, like they hold a frequency, but they've not been awakened until they're maybe in their 50s or 60s. And they're more awakened and aware of who they are and why they're here. And then, of course, as Mary says, all the children that are coming in now hold a frequency. All of them, everyone. I've got so many young friends. I say young because they can still have babies, whereas I can't, that are having babies. And during this time, I think, wow, that's a big decision to have a baby when the world is so fraught with drama, bringing a child into this world. If you're not aware and conscious, you know, that decision to still want to bring a baby into this world with all the problems that is going on. But these children have elected to come, and boy, are they coming in. Whew, there's just baby city around me. I tell you, babies everywhere. And many of them were born on my birthday, which I thought was so cool. Because 27th of the 9th, so 2 is in service and 7 is into spirituality. 7 is about our spiritual origins. And then the 9 is humanity. So in service to spirituality and humanity. It's a pretty powerful number. Many of them came in September on the 27th. I just went everywhere I went. I met babies born on that day, and I'm like, wow. So they're holding that consciousness that Stephen's talking about, that that will be amplified on the 21st of December. It was so interesting when he was talking about it. I'm like chatting to the mob saying, what does this box do? Just tell me more. I want details. And they're saying, well, it holds its own frequency, but it's an amplification of frequency. So that frequency connects with the frequency that's here and amplifies it exponentially. Amplification of energy is happening at the moment, as my guides have said many times. When you have a dirty house and you're in a dim light, you don't see the dirt, but when you turn up the light, you see the dirt. They give me that analogy because I'm such a, you know, cleaner. And they said, like, if you think of Earth as the dirty house, we are turning up the light. And as you turn up the light, you get in to see a lot of the dirt. And then you have a choice. Do you clean up the dirt, or do you let it be? Do you want to live in that environment, or do you want to live in a more pristine environment? So there's a lot of dirt that's being exposed now, just in every way. I think I've said on other shows, you know, there's a 11/11. There's a Netflix series called Rotten, which talks about our food industry. It's like 2 seasons, 10 episodes each season, talking about our food industry and how rotten it is. It's rotten to the core. I mean, we've got a lot of cleaning to do on planet Earth, this dirty house. So we've got a lot of cleaning to do. So the amplification of energy is exposing what needs to be done. Yeah. So we need to do it. And we need to do it in an energy of joy and love and enthusiasm, and feeling like we've come to do that. You know, we've come to clean house. That's why we're here. We're here to clean house. So I think I was speaking to Sue Walker, about talking to the Ponti, who are aliens that have a base, ETs, Zeta Reticuli ETs that have a base under the Sandia Mountain. And people were saying, you know, how can I get them to come visit me? She was saying, well, they don't want to come if you live in clutter and, you know, you live in a really dirty house. I thought, isn't that interesting? But they said, if you clean your house and get rid of your clutter, they'll come. And I thought, isn't that interesting? But there's something about clutter and chaos, and it's just energy, isn't it? If you think of it as chaotic sort of energy, stuck energy. Yeah. So there's stuck energy in us, stuck energy in our homes, stuck energy in our planets, stuck energy, stagnant energy everywhere. How can we move that energy? And if you think about it, physically cleaning is a way of moving energy. I find I feel so much better when I've had a good clean. I've had lots of good cleans. It's spring here in Australia and I've been spring cleaning like mad. And it does, the place feels amazing when you have a good clean. It's like you move old energy, stagnant energy, you move it on. And I think that that's what we're doing collectively here on planet Earth. We're moving stagnant energy. Many people talk about the cabal, you know, this over-governing evil group of people that are controlling our planet. And Stephen was talking about it with the Australian government. I have asked Bob about this, and I really don't get that there is a conscious group that are all together controlling the world. I do see a lot of greed and stuck energy, stuck in old ways, and people focused on the bottom line and profit. And they make decisions every day, like the Netflix, you see, you know, the Rotten series, because it's going to make them money regardless of how it's going to corrupt the land, pollute other humans. And they just don't think about the consequences of making money and how it doesn't serve the planet. I was watching something last night, and it was a documentary on water, actually, and these factories saying that they're recycling their water so they're not using water or polluting the water system. So it was, you know, it was a positive documentary, but they were pumping out this product. There was like a cosmetic company just pumping out product, just millions and millions and millions of plastic bottles. And we're like, great, so you're recycling your water. What are you doing about the plastic bottles that are all going to end up in landfill? We've got a long way to go. And you're all here to help. Inspired action. Inspired action comes from feeling good and then getting that downloads of, like, there are scientists and inventors that are inventing amazing things through inspired action, through inspiration, getting the download from their higher self or from the ETs or from the, you know, collective consciousness of the higher realms that are bringing us technologies that can clean house, that can help move the stagnant energy and use energy in a way that recycles, rather than making something that will just be thrown into landfill and take thousands of years to degrade. Anyway, there's lots that can be done. The best thing we can do is raise our own consciousness and vibration so that we can tap into our genius and the magic that exists here for us, and be genius, deliberate creators, flowing our energy in a way that uplifts and helps this world clean house and move to a new reality. Oh, thanks again for watching. That was an amazing show with Stephen. Loved that. He's an amazing person, except for the part that he hates about looking at himself. I have to say, I've watched a few of his videos. He did look at the camera more this time. I've seen many interviews with him, and all you can see is the top of his head because he looks down the whole time because he doesn't want to look at himself in the camera on the video. But he and Evan are doing great work, and I'm going to turn up to the next conference that they've got coming up. That sounds fabulous. They have a conference every month, and let's see what happens on the 21st of December. My guides have said to me it's not going to be anything like, the earth isn't going to shake. It will be subtle because we're working in the realms of energy, but that subtleness will be a bit like the year 2012. Everyone was saying the world was going to end in 2012. Nothing really sort of too overt happened on the day. We had a gathering, hug the world or whatever. But when I look back and see how many people woke up in 2012 and how the world has changed so much since then, it was subtle, but it was strong. So I suspect that the activation on the 21st of December will be subtle, but strong also, and it will have profound effects all over the world. So what are you vibing? What's going to be amplified in you? Amplify love and genius and brilliance and joy and excitement. Thanks again for watching. And who's coming up next week? What's today, Stephen? I've got Lulu and Mishka coming up next week, who are beautiful musicians that I love them. I love them. And they have an amazing story. And then Dr. Nazar is going to come on and talk about quantum. And Jaylene Tracy is going to come back on the show. We're going to talk about the future. She was saying that she's got many clients that are tapping into future lives and what happens in the future. So in a couple of weeks, I'm going to have that conversation with Jaylene about a future time and what life can look like on planet Earth in the future, so that we've got something to visualize, something to move towards, something to grab onto with our minds. Rather than looking on everything that's going wrong, we can visualize what we want, and it helps to hear what happens. Like, it kind of anchors it in our minds and memory. Another NDE, Steve's coming on. Another NDE, amazing story. Cassandra, a beautiful crystal healer here. Daryl Stokes is coming on to talk about spirits. He takes photographs of orbs, and lots of lovely people coming up. So Sage Oneness, Zoe Pennant is coming into the Inner Sanctum. She's in the UK, so we're going to do it in a different time slot next month. And I'm on every week talking about how we can be more deliberate in flowing our energy and creating a world that we want to live in, the world within. Like, the world we live in is our thoughts and emotions. That's the world we live in, right? How to create a world we want to live in, both inside and out. So if you want to join up, please do. Love you all big time. I honor you all for the work that you're doing and holding that dominant frequency of love. I know my audience is that part of that less than 5% that we were talking about. That's you. And I want to honor you and thank you for holding that frequency and for watching the shows. Big love to you. Bye for now.